In the next little while, I'm going to move from Mount St. Francis to Richmond, BC. And of course, I have to purge all kinds of things. And, you might think a Franciscan friar has stuff. Well, I do, probably more than what you would expect. And one of the things I did have was a garden tower. And so for months prior, I was like, what am I going to do with this garden tower? And I had 4 different options that were going around in my head and that I was talking to people about. But eventually, yesterday, I gave it to a high school student. Now, the interesting thing is I had a desire to give the garden tower away, and this high school student had a desire to get a garden tower. And his mom at a certain point said, this is God's providence. In other words, God was at work in this situation, and what a gift it is. But it makes sense if we believe in a Trinitarian God, that God is being relational, is going to be a part of our lives and the life of our world. We just really need to have the eyes of faith to see the presence of God each and every day. We can experience God through people, through our own hearts, through creation. What a gift it is to experience God. In the first reading from Proverbs, it explains about wisdom. And really, wisdom is to enter into the heart of God. I can gain all kinds of knowledge about different things, how to fix this, how to understand this, but yet when wisdom is really about entering the heart of God, and we come to know who God is and who we are. St. Francis prayed all night, who are you, God, and who am I? Over and over again. And we'll never fully grasp who God is, and we'll never fully grasp who we are, and yet we can continue to have that perspective in life, because God will reveal God to us day by day. This is really the point of the gospel reading, is, the disciples are not ready to bear everything that Jesus wants to tell him. I look back in my 20s, I kind of wish I knew everything I knew now back in my 20s, but I really wasn't ready for it. I had to live more life so I could come to this point, and God could reveal different things to me that makes more sense now than it would have back then. And in that second reading, the letter to the Romans, the gift of hope is really about God's grace. We're going to have to persevere through all kinds of suffering, which will build character in us. But if we keep our eyes on our God, who is always present to us, then we know we are never alone. And really, that's the biggest tragedy in life, is when we think we are alone. And yet we can always know that God is with us. And so as we gather around the table, Lord, this is one of the many expressions that we are not alone as we come to the table of plenty to give God thanks, to experience our Trinitarian God as the Father once again sends the beloved Son through the Holy Spirit, so that we are aware that the Father is for us, Jesus Christ is with us, and the Spirit is in us. And what a gift that is. And may we continue to be blessings for one another.